This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. Talking the stories that are shaping headlines, plus those that make you go,
Hello everybody, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Majlis, the show where we discuss the stories shaping the news headlines. It is Wednesday, July 22nd. I'm Ahmed Dawood with Abdul Karim Hanif and Rania Sadi, and we have a lot to delve into this morning. We'll discuss the latest about a coronavirus vaccine that has shown a lot of promise. The question everyone's asking, when will we be able to receive it? The vaccine's lead developer spoke to media about the prospect of rolling this vaccine out in 2020. So stay tuned as we delve into that story and so much more.
Yes, absolutely. Good morning to you, Ahmed and Abdul Karim, and all the listeners of the Morning Majlis. We do have a lot of developments, very exciting ones actually, that are coming out from our emirate and our nation as a whole. We will start with Sharjah, as His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Crown Prince, Deputy Ruler of Sharjah and Chairman of the SEC, has approved yesterday the conversion of a number of residential use villas to commercial or professional use. That's among other issues that we'll also be discussing in just a few minutes. And as for the nation, well, the UAE once again proved that impossible is nothing, and that number one is made for us and us only, because the UAE has been ranked once again first in the Arab region in the Telecommunication Infrastructure Index in launching and using 5G networks. So stay tuned for those exciting developments.
Yes, and on the Morning Majlis, we always tend to talk a little bit more about aviation, and we've got some updates in terms of how things are with the Boeing 737 MAX. It is going to be not flying at least until October. Why? What's happening? What's the update with that? All this will be discussed right here on the Morning Majlis. But another thing that we will be talking about in detail is that today is a very important day.
How so?
It is a very important day in a way that our credit card bills could be increasing. It's because it's the shopping promotion.
Yeah, yes. Definitely. It's the 22nd, yes.
It is.
Today, Sharjah shopping promotion starts.
Yes, it kicks off today, so there's going to be a lot of discounts. So if you are looking for that perfect bargain, if you're looking for the perfect Eid al-Adha gift, today's the day. Make the most of it.
Perfect timing.
Exactly, and it is running for a while, so you don't have to rush too much, but it's good to get an idea in terms of how the discounts will be operating at malls across the Emirate of Sharjah. So if you would like, if you've got a perfect Eid al-Adha gift idea, then do let us know on the text lines 4215, because we've got a couple of people that we need to be gifting, and it'll be very handy and useful to get your tips. And lots more to discuss later on in the program.
Indeed, Abdul Karim, a lot of exciting stuff happening in Sharjah, a lot of big geopolitical developments as well that we'll delve into throughout the show. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. Type Pulse 95 Radio for a live stream of Pulse 95. And stay tuned. This is the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis. Talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
A coronavirus vaccine developed by the University of Oxford has been generating a great deal of excitement. And after a trial involving over 1,000 people, the vaccine led the subjects to make antibodies and T cells that could fight the coronavirus. And in light of these promising results, the UK government ordered 100 million doses of this vaccine. But now there's the looming question, when are we going to see this vaccine? According to the lead developer, there is no certainty. Sarah Gilbert said, quote, "The end of the year target for getting vaccine rollout, it's a possibility, but there's absolutely no certainty about that because we need 3 things to happen."
Well, work is ongoing at the moment, and so is here in the United Arab Emirates. We're into the phase 3 of the trials being conducted by the healthcare systems here. They're saying it is needed to be the vaccine trials in Oxford saying it needed to be shown to work in late stage trials 3. There needed to be large quantities manufactured. Regulators have to agree quickly to license it for emergency and before they could be used on large numbers for them to be vaccinated. The chance of us getting a vaccine before the festive period that actually is highly effective are very low. That's according to England's Chief Medical Officer Chris Whitty, as they were discussing a potential timeline for them to be released. The Oxford scientists had looked at 1 million doses of the potential vaccine to be produced by as early as September, but there is a protocol that we have to follow.
Yes, although the deal with AstraZeneca has provided manufacturing capacity to do that, the lower prevalence of the novel coronavirus has complicated the process of proving its efficacy. And this is a fairly common problem with vaccine developers, that the countries in which they work often are beyond the stage in which coronavirus cases are critical, and so they need to look into other countries where the coronavirus cases and the rate of infection is much higher in order to effectively test the vaccine. And that is why late-stage trials crucial for providing this data are underway in Brazil, South Africa as well, and are due to start in the United States.
Yeah, touching on what you just said, Ahmed, another potential coronavirus vaccine that is showing some hope is actually a Chinese-made vaccine which entered the final stage of testing just yesterday in Brazil, where volunteers received the first doses of what officials hope will be a game changer in the pandemic. Now, this vaccine that was developed by a private Chinese pharmaceutical firm named Sinovac became the third in the world to enter phase 3 clinical trials, or large-scale testing on humans, which is actually the last step before regulatory approval. So we're getting closer, let's just say.
Getting close to that.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep, we're getting close to that final and eventual stage where we can say that we've found a cure and the world can go back to normal. As at the moment, people are still worried because there's a sudden surge in coronavirus infections, and we've seen that in the United States as well with the recent developments and figures showing over 1,000 deaths in the last 24 hours. So it is something that we're very, very concerned about. And it was done in a single day. And for the first time since early June that we've seen that figure in the country.
Indeed, Abdul Karim. And as far as you at home listening to this or on your way, if you are interested in participating in a coronavirus vaccine trial, there is an ongoing one in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. So residents in Abu Dhabi and Al Ain who are interested in volunteering for the stage 3 coronavirus vaccine trial may go to the 4humanity.ae website. That is the number 4 humanity.ae and fill in your information for the vaccine phase 3 clinical trial being undertaken here in the United Arab Emirates. Stay tuned to Pulse 95. We've got more stories and discussions coming up. The state of the 737 MAX and whether or not we should see it flying again. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Yes, notes from the Emirate of Sharjah, as the Sharjah Private Education Authority has just appointed Sahab Smart Solutions as its technology partner to develop the Sharjah Education Academy e-platform, as well as its digital infrastructure. Now, this appointment is in pursuance of SEA's goals to offer programs and courses that will produce qualified management and education professionals who will be the key leaders of Sharjah's digital transformation journey. And this step also reflects Sharjah's committed efforts in creating digital, fast, student-centric educational environments.
Well, Sahab has been viewed as one of the technology partners for the government of Sharjah, and they're looking at digital solutions and innovations in both smart city and smart government sectors. this is a very important step to be looking at a very digital-first approach, and we've got a committee here in Sharjah for the digital transformation for the Emirates as well. And this pandemic has also shown how important being digital and being very remote has become very crucial. So there's a statement that's come out from the Sharjah Private Education Authority chairperson, Dr. Muhadditha Al-Hashimi, stressing that digitalization of their courses programs is in order to make them accessible to a wider cross-section of people via their own e-platform, reiterates the authority's belief in exploring and utilizing wide-ranging smart solutions to advance the educational output. Sahab has assumed a central role in this, and they will be helping them achieve goals of developing the skill sets of their staff in educational institutions, and a very important aspect, and they're saying that the Sahab has got years of expertise to back them up.
Years of expertise to back them up indeed, and this partnership with the Sharjah Private Education Authority and Sahab would further and align with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, Supreme Council Member and ruler of Sharjah, with the goal of building a knowledge-based economy. Now, a number of experts will be providing customized smart solutions to various government bodies in order to improve public services and other offerings as well. This is according to the CEO of Sahab, Amin Az-Zar'uni. Az-Zar'uni also saying that Sahab believes in adopting smart solutions, particularly in education, as part of an overall goal of boosting the digital transformation efforts here in Sharjah and resulting in successive generations of qualified and well-trained human workers to lead the UAE on its path towards being a knowledge-based economy built on innovation, diversity, and a sense of competitiveness.
Well, it is so important to see that the CEO of Sahab also said the changes around the world dictated by the COVID-19 pandemic highlights the importance of advanced technology infrastructure to ensure that businesses are continuing in vital sectors such as healthcare and education. And I think a lot of students are now relieved to see that they are off for the summer break and they don't have to be waking up early and facing the computer screens to join school. But authorities here in the UAE are currently working with their own educational bodies in each emirate to find out how we can see the return of students back into school campuses, whether it's going to be full-time coming back to school or it's going to be a couple of days a week. Further details will be released as soon as we are approaching the restart of the academic year. But so far, it's been great to see that digital infrastructure is getting a particular focus. And speaking of digital infrastructure, another major tech company that has been receiving a lot of fingers being pointed at it is resilient, as they're saying they're going to continue and move on to the United States. What's happening? Stay with us on the Morning Majlis.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Hello and welcome back on to the Morning Majlis. Well, we're talking again about aviation and airlines and travel, because that's just a topic that we just love here on the Morning Majlis. We can't get enough of it, right, Abdul Karim?
No, aviation is because we love traveling.
We love traveling.
A lot of people want to go to different places, and one of the reasons why we're talking about aviation is earlier in the day we talked about the eventual return of Boeing 737. FAA, the Federal Aviation Authority in the United States, says nothing can be done before October. But Ryanair, a massive airline that was connecting EU and connecting the UK with the EU, is now looking at shutting its base after a bit of a revolt by the pilots.
That's right. Ryanair UK's pilots and cabin crew, after recently voting to accept pay cuts and reduce job losses, The German pilots rejected the pay cuts, in fact, and this is what's resulting in the shutting down of Ryanair's Frankfurt base. The company revealed it had cut a deal with the Unite union earlier this month that the UK cabin crew jobs would be safeguarded. But Germany is undergoing those changes. According to the German airline union, they said less than half of the pilots were in favor of accepting the pay deal. They said that the agreement would have the potential to harm the entire pilot community across Germany.
Ryanair also said the proposed cuts are based on current schedule plans and insisted that they could become considerably worse if there is a resurgence of the coronavirus pandemic. They said that we made it clear throughout negotiations that if the vote was unsuccessful, then the next step would have to be dismissals. It is bizarre that the union canvassed against the deal, knowing full well that the results would be base closures and job losses, sadly.
It really is kind of an end of an era situation. It is very sad because Ryanair and EasyJet and all these companies that were operating within the EU just made travel easier. So if you're a person in the UK who wants to travel to Paris, for example, for the weekend, you could look up and, if you're pre-booking it well in advance, you can actually get tickets worth £30. So imagine flying to a different country for the weekend for about 120, 150 dirhams, or being able to do that. The reason is because these airlines were so well connected with their bases, and obviously the EU regulations were facilitating that, but now Brexit has happened, that will change. But with these losses and these cutting down of bases, it's just going to make travel so much more expensive, and adding that challenge to low-cost carriers as well. Another development that we talked about earlier was Iceland Air had actually told its pilots to start training to become cabin crew because there was a mass layoff for cabin crews, and they just said to all the pilots, guys, it's now your duty. You'll be looking after the passengers, and that situation lasted 2 days, but now the new agreement has been struck, which is valid until September 2025. Still needs to be ratified by flight attendants, but the vote is likely on the 27th of July. But it was a very extraordinary decision, and that was mainly because airlines simply just can't afford staff at the moment.
Yeah, speaking of airlines, in addition to what you said, airlines that are suffering from loss, another airline is United Airlines. Actually, yesterday reported $1 billion quarterly loss, giving investors a look into financials thoroughly wrecked by the pandemic and the near standstill on air travel. United actually said that it lost $1.6 billion or $5.79 a share. That's only in the second quarter, contrasting with a profit of $1.05 billion or $4.02 a share in the ago quarter.
Well, very sad times indeed. We'll see how the world of aviation fares. We will be keeping you posted throughout the program as well. Up next, we'll give you some sporting updates, so stay tuned to Pulse 95. We'll be right back and concluding our discussions right here on the Morning Majlis.
This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis. It's the Morning Majlis.
Hello and welcome back onto the Morning Majlis. We are talking all things sports at the moment. Reason being is because we've seen IPL, Indian Premier League, has made an announcement and says that it will potentially be looking at playing here in the United Arab Emirates. In fact, the tournament's chairman, Brijesh Patel, he said that it will be held in the UAE from September if the Indian government gives the final approval. Now, this also comes after the T20 World Cup was postponed until the year 2021 because of the coronavirus. It has opened the way for the suspended IPL to go ahead after the multiple delays with the pandemic spreading this year and also affecting the world of sports. And it has been held outside India twice before, once in South Africa, once in the United Arab Emirates, and will be very interesting to see that September 26th is the deadline to start the IPL. Is it going to go ahead? But apart from that, tennis, Ahmed Dawood, that's good. That's one tournament's been cancelled, the other is still ongoing.
Yes, indeed, Abdul Karim. While the City Open was cancelled for the year 2020, it was scheduled for August 13th, in fact, but has been cancelled due to coronavirus concerns. The US Open remains on track.
It does remain on track, and it is going to be very interesting to see how we can all look forward to a game of tennis, but a couple of players, whether they're going to be taking part in it or not, that is something that we will be considering. It's because Novak Djokovic, a massive tennis star, world number one as well, he was diagnosed with coronavirus, and that was also took place after a tournament, and it's going to be opening for debate, and it is due to begin on the 31st of August without any spectators, they say. But is that going to be fun? Is it going to be different when you play tennis with the lack of audience? But usually in a tennis game, you're expected to be quiet, so it should be fine. But sometimes players do need that bit of energy in the stands later on. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens after that.
Well, since we're talking about tennis, a group including Serena Williams will fund a new Los Angeles-based women's team to launch in time for the 2022 National Women's Soccer League season. Tennis great Williams joins several other high-profile women, including Oscar-winning actress Natalie Portman, in founding the female majority group. Now, the team name and home venue are yet to be decided, but the ownership group has called itself Angel City. Among the group are 14 former U.S. national team players, actresses Eva Longoria as well, Jennifer Garner, America Ferrera, plus investors from the technology and media sectors as well. And also there's a statement coming out from the co-founder and the president saying that change for our players, change for our fans, and change for our community. Change that begins today.
Change that begins today. We look forward to that. And in other football news, it's going to be a big day for Liverpool. They're facing Chelsea today, and they will be presented with the long-awaited silverware following the game. It's been a long run-up to this, said Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp. We have been champions for a month now. It's a bit like Christmas. You know, you're getting a specific present, but you are still excited. Liverpool are expected to present their strongest squad, and Chelsea, they still need the point, so we'll have to see how this game goes. But it's going to be a big conclusion to a great historic season by Liverpool.
It certainly is, and we are glad the world of sports is returning and moving on swiftly towards normality, and for that as well, Morning Majlis is going to be moving on swiftly, and we'll be returning tomorrow morning bright and early, 7 a.m. as we conclude this week and prepare for the back-to-back shorter working weeks, and also prepare for a special program that we will be doing during the Eid al-Adha holidays for all of you to be entertained and be informed. So stay tuned to Pulse 95. Morning Majlis will be returning tomorrow morning.
That's right. Tune in at 7 a.m. We'll be live on YouTube as well. Go to YouTube, type Pulse 95 Radio to watch our programs and music. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
The heart of Sharjah. The heart of Sharjah. Pulse 95.